Here we go. Of all the things, man. Of all the things. Hold on one second. Let me hear this. Let's turn that up. Let's turn that way, way up. What's going on, y'all? Yeah. There we go. There we go. What's going on? What's happening? What's crack-a-lacking with all the peeps in the building? I want to know. I want to know what's going on. How y'all doing? How y'all doing today? Falcons fan 408 in the building. Hernan Garcia, Christopher Sanders. Mr. Lieutenant Dan, what is up? How's it going? Everybody say hello to Mrs. Lieutenant Dan as well. Make sure you guys do. She is sitting in. She is sitting in. She is here. It's good to see all of you guys. Hope you're all doing really, really well. I'm just trying to get a couple of things here finished. Just a couple of things. There we go. There we go. There we go. Just a few other things. All right, wait, refresh browser, shortcuts, custom code. Nah, I don't care about codes. Just trying to fix the chat so that you guys, so that it stays, enables emotes, show top, show hide delay, always show messages on. Okay, cool. What's going on, y'all? What is crack-a-lackin'? Good to see y'all. Oh, man, it's Falcon season, you know? This Sunday. Falcon season this Sunday, y'all. What about it? How'd it do? What's going on with everybody in the chat? Let me know if my sound is a little too high. That way I can get this quality for you guys. Please, by all means, make sure that we're doing this right. Hey, before I say hi to everybody in the chat, and please make sure that you are saying hi, I promise I don't bite. I promise I don't bite. We got some amazing news, and I think you can see it right down here at the bottom of the screen here. We have just been contracted to work with pro sports fans. Make sure you guys go check in the link in the description. Check the link in the description of this video for the download link, whether it be Android or it be on the Apple store. But we have been contracted with the Pro Sports Fans app. And ladies and gentlemen, we are now working with Pro Sports Fans. Please make sure you go and download that app because, and here's the reason why, it is like Discord met YouTube met Twitter. And it's one of the most unique apps that I have ever had the opportunity to be able to turn on and check out. So please make sure you check that out, because if you do, you can join me every Sunday, 1 p.m. for Falcons game coverage. Yes, we're going to be live every Sunday for Falcons game coverage on the PSF app. So check us out over there. Make sure you follow us at UNGR underscore show or LT underscore Dan on the app. Christopher Sanders, Herman Garcia, Blizz818. Good to see you guys. Falcons fan 408. I hope you guys are all doing well. Rise up, stay grounded. Hope all of you guys are having a fantastic day. That's number one. That's number one. That's the first thing on the list. Number two on the list. We have now fixed the subscription service for the YouTube channel. So if you'd like to support Mrs. Lieutenant Dan and I, yes, for absolutely free, you can like this current video right now. It helps with the algorithm. You can comment down below when this video is done. You can share this out right now to your Twitterverse, to your Instagram, to your Falcons fans football pages, to the Falcons message boards, to the Falcons Reddit, wherever you guys would like to send this. Please, by all means, send it out. It helps. Those three things. On top of that, you can subscribe to this channel right now and hit that notification bell. Slam that notification bell. Destroy that notification bell. so that you're always updated of new content that's coming through on this channel, as well as on the PSF app and on Instagram and on Twitter and over there on the Twitch, UNGR_show. And gaming with _LT Dan. Lots of stuff here. But here, let me just make sure that I put this down. The number 2 thing is that all of those free things being what they are, you can help us out monetarily if you want to help Mrs. Lieutenant Dan and I month to month. There's a little join button down below this entire video screen. When you hit that join button right there, you can join for $1, $5, $20, $30, or 50 smackaroos per month. And you can help us continue to produce content here on YouTube, on the PSF app, over there on the Twitch, on the Instagram, on the Twitter, because we're going to be incredibly active this year. And there's going to be a lot of new Falcons film breakdowns, new content coming out for you guys, new live shows. You can check out some of the perks in joining the membership program. I would love to start shouting people out at the end of all of my videos, whoever has joined the membership program. If you do, just such a hats off to you guys, and I'm humbly honored and grateful for anything that you guys do for us. Of course, you can donate down below as well if you'd like to support us monetarily. With all of that said and done, woo! Falcons football is back this Sunday, and I cannot wait. I cannot wait to get into this. Cannot wait to get into this because, very, very importantly, the Falcons roster has been set. The Falcons official roster has been set for the Falcons game against the Carolina Panthers. Who in here, raise of hands, I want to see who currently in the chat thinks this, but who in here thinks that Bryce Young is too small? I want to hear just all the peeps in the chat. Whoever thinks that Bryce Young is just a little too small, man. Just a little too small, man. Just a little too small. Too small. Oh, prediction score for Sunday. I'll get to that towards the end of the video, but let's talk about this roster very quickly before we get into the actual game itself. And of course, I'm going to go on some tangent about Desmond Ridder, and you guys know I'm going to. You guys know I'm going to go on a tangent about Desmond Ridder, and that's what you guys came here for. for me to freak out. But your starting wide receivers: Drake London, Mac Hollins, Kadarrell Hodge. Backup specifically to Drake London is going to be Josh Ali, and then backup to Kadarrell Hodge is going to be Scotty Miller, which his original name was Scott Miller, but, you know, is what it is, right? Right? And that trio of London, Mac Hollins, and Kadarrell Hodge is going to be something that I think that Ridder is going to go deep into that well and be able to service those guys, be able to give them the ball often and early if we're not already, punching it down their throats with the run game. Starting left tackle, Jake Matthews. Starting left guard, Matthew Bergeron. Just to give you guys some clarity on guys behind them, you're looking at Ryan Nazeal behind Matthew Bergeron, and you're looking at Isaiah Prince, just recently signed, actually, behind Jake Matthews. Javon Gwynn, who was actually drafted and is a rookie, is actually backing up center Drew Dahlman. So I know there's a lot of people in here that were saying, okay, Drew Dahlman, Matt Hennessy, that whole battle over these last year, 2 years has not necessarily been the most favorable, but Drew Dahlman has really come out of nowhere and solidified himself not only as a starting center, but in a combination with everyone here. It's made the run game absolutely immaculate. Chris Lindstrom at right guard, and then Caleb McGarry at right tackle. Kyle Hinton is going to be the backup right guard. So your swing tackle is most likely going to be Isaiah Prince, which is fine in a vacuum. There's just not the backups that we're looking for that would instill faith in any of us Falcons fans, and I know for sure that every single one of you guys is probably thinking, okay, one injury away, right? We're one injury away. We were one of the most healthy offensive lines last season. We hope to continue that trend this coming season, and these guys are really going to be pushed hard to run heavily. Tight end, Kyle Pitts will be your starter. Jonnu Smith, backup tight end to that. McCullough Pruitt also on the team, and John Fitzpatrick. So we're carrying 4 tight ends on this team right now, and what is that? 2, 4, 5 wide receivers. If you think about that for a second, where you have 5 wide receivers and you already have 4 tight ends, and you're pushing everything around, I think that gives you kind of a thought process. Number one, your wide receivers will be involved, but what level will they be involved? Number two, if you're going to put so many tight ends on the field, especially if you're going to be starting 2 guys in Jonnu Smith and Kyle Pitts, who you might as well call Kyle Pitts a third wide receiver, right? You might call him the number 3 wide receiver, the number 2 wide receiver based on how much usage they're going to end up giving Kyle Pitts. And you like the idea of Desmond Ridder, obviously, throwing to Kyle Pitts. You got these wide targets, these very large targets for a Desmond Ridder who likes to throw a little bit of a high ball and is starting to slowly but surely control that and put that where it needs to be. So you look at the group as a whole and you go, it's a solid offensive line that doesn't really have a crazy amount of depth or guys that you really want playing at any particular position. And then on top of this, you have a wide receiving core that looks to be a lower target share at the end of the day. Looks like a very lower end target share at the end of the day. But then you go look at these tight ends and you go, okay, well, here we go. A whole stretch of guys that will probably get involved in this passing game and in the running game as a whole. Quarterback Desmond Ridder starts. Taylor Heineke going to be your backup. And then Logan Woodside ends up being the third quarterback that we carry currently on the roster and will be unaffected by the, I believe it's a 22-man role or a 23-man role for starting game day rosters. So we can carry all 3 quarterbacks in a single given game day. Bijan Robinson goes from the 3rd running back to the number 1 running back with Tyler Algier behind him and Cordero Patterson in the joker position. I don't know anything about that, but I believe apparently we now have the Rogues Gallery, because if you already saw my Twitter or X tweet post just a little while ago, yesterday, Cordero Patterson comes out with a tweet, puts up the tweet of the Joker with the actual starting roster, the depth chart, having him solidified in its own space called the J position. So he'll be all over the field doing all kinds of things. Right underneath that, I put Desmond Ridder with a Riddler hat. And that tweet has now been absolutely blowing up, or that post has now been absolutely blowing up. So I appreciate all the people that have been helping us out with that. That has been absolutely hilarious and fun times. But Bijan Robinson, Tyler Algier, and Cordero Patterson all on there. And Keith Smith is going to be your lone and single fullback that's going to be there. Let's go take a look at the defense very quickly. Calais Campbell starting as our, and this is very interesting. I want you guys to listen to this. Defensive end they have listed, defensive tackle they have listed, nose tackle they have listed, and then everybody else is a linebacker either outside, left, right, or interior left or right. So they're looking at a base defense of 34 with a nickel defense of a 4-man front or 3-man front, depending on how much coverage they want to put out there. And against Bryce Young, and I'll get into this in just a moment, but against Bryce Young, I think what you're looking to do is force Bryce Young to throw and then attack the run with a very small group, a light box, a big box, heavy set guys, but a very small number of them to be able to cover a large portion of space so that you can bring guys down from the secondary to be able to come in and make hits. So you have Calais Campbell and Zach Harrison in that order with Joe Gazzano. Are all your defensive ends. So these look like guys that are most likely going to be run stoppers and pressure providers when you're trying to have a 3-man front or what it looks like a 5-man front where linebackers come down and play as edges or wide nines. David Amiata and Albert Huggins have made the nose tackle spots, and we're carrying both of those guys on the starting roster. So there will be a heavy rotation at nose tackle, or at least a dependency on that particular spot, that one tech, that 0 to be able to supply. We'll see what they look like in the actual game breakdowns, and then I'll be able to provide the all-22 and whether or not they're actually providing a nose tackle, or if this is kind of more of a shade-off 2-eye, 3-tech type of position when you go to a 4-3. Grady Jarrett and Taquan Graham come up as defensive tackles, so this could be 4-eye, 3-tech, probably not going to slide into 2 into 1. So there's probably no reason to have anybody there in that particular narrative or that particular setting. But Taquan Graham and Grady Jarrett pretty much line up a pass rushing role at defensive tackle, and both guys are, decent. I think you're looking at this and you have a lot more confidence than you do with the offensive line, right? You're looking at the offensive line and you go, that looks not so great. There's not a lot of backup power there. But you look at this defense and you go, I don't even look at the defensive starters as guys that are going to be on the field more than 60% of the time, because I look at the guys that are currently going to be starting and I go, what an excellent rotation of guys that you're going to be coming in and out. And even Calais Campbell has gone on record to say that we're kind of like a hockey rotation. There's a whole group of us in and then a whole group of us out, and then they'll kind of switch pieces based on what they see. So there's not really a set amount of guys that are supposed to be out there, are supposed to be playing a high set of reps. I think you've got a great group currently here. So Calais Campbell, Zach Harrison, David Amayada, and Albert Huggins, Grady Jarrett, Taquan Graham. That sets up your defensive ends, nose tackles, and defensive tackles. And now you get into the very interesting part. So left outside linebacker, you have Lorenzo Carter and Bud Dupree. And what I'm thinking this is most likely setting up is those are your guys that will be run-stopping, heavy pass rushers. Those guys are going to be the ones that are going to be your more pound-for-pound, power-to-speed guys. Those are the dudes that are probably going to be more run defense, and then if it calls for it, they collapse a pocket and get a cleanup sack from the interior. That's at least the way they've structured it there. So you have Lorenzo Carter and Bud Dupree, both veterans of the game, both know what they're doing, and both of those guys are going to end up playing a left outside linebacker position or some type of edge rusher. Interior left and interior right. Interior left, Caden Ellis with backup Nate Landman, which I think that's a very interesting dynamic because I don't think you're going to see Landman very much on the field at all. And if you do see him on the field, it will probably be in the special teams department. Troy Anderson starts as your right inside linebacker, and then on top of that, Trey Davis also gets an opportunity at right inside linebacker. So you really don't see any crazy movement from your linebackers. Your starters are your starters, and your backups are clearly backups. Clearly backups. Your right outside linebackers, and this is where I get into a very interesting discussion with you guys. Right outside linebacker is going to be your Arnold Ebiketie, which is going to be kind of your this is a guy that we're hoping continues to grow and mature, and if not, then will become a rotational piece with another guy from the first, second, or third round in the coming draft, because you don't have a lot of crazy needs when you look up and down this roster, and you're going to have a lot of money next year as well. Backing him up, D'Angelo Malone. So these are your pure pass rushers with a little bit of run-stop sprinkled in. So I like how they've set that up. It's got a lot of good depth on it, and it's got a lot of decent setup. Now you look at your entire DB roster, your DB depth chart here. A.J. Terrell with Mike Hughes backing him up at left cornerback. Strong safety, Richie Grant gets the nod. Jalen Hawkins gets the backup role. Jesse Bates gets the free safety spot. Behind him, DeMarco Helms, who just impressed the heck out of me during the preseason games. And show of hands in here, who thought DeMarco Helms was going to get an opportunity to be on this roster? Not me, man. I did not think it. And Helms comes out and does such a great job. Jeff Okudah, currently with an injury. We haven't been told that he is not going to be part of this roster. We've just been told that he is currently dealing with that injury. We don't know if he's going to get that opportunity to play the first game, but things are trending forward for Jeff Okudah to get an opportunity at right cornerback here and start. Buy low, sell high piece. Could be the Falcons looking for a right cornerback and paying A.J. Terrell next year. And I don't know about you guys, but paying A.J. Terrell is not the worst thing in the entire world. And if Okudah does well, you can pay him another decent contract. If he doesn't do well, you can go off and go get somebody because you just got him on a one-year deal. Trey Flowers will be the backup at right corner. I'm glad that Trey Flowers is just a backup and a special teamer and is not going to get any major starting reps, not because of Trey Flowers' abilities, but just age has caught up to Trey Flowers, and you understand that he's not going to be able to take on the speeders of today's NFL. isn't something that he's going to be put in a position to succeed. It's better that he's a backup, and he's better that he's going to get opportunities where where the team needs it and not out of necessity. D. Alford gets the nod at nickel corner. I like that. D. Alford is a stud, but Clark Phillips III is going to be right behind him, and I think he's going to be pushing for that spot. Your special teams: Bradley Pinion, Younghoe Koo, Liam McCullough, Bradley Pinion, D. Alford, and Cordero Patterson. Patterson and Hughes get the nod for the kick returner. Punt returner is going to be D. Alford. So I don't know how you guys think about that specific. Practice squad. Any real notable stuff on here? They're keeping Tammy Horn, nose tackle. Matthew Sexton, wide receiver. I liked what he looked like. Tyler Vrabel, they're looking to try to, yes, that same Vrabel, they're trying to get the youngster up to a point where he can be a value for them, maybe even as a backup role on the actual 53. I do also like the fact that they've got Ogundeji on IR. They can keep him as a special teamer. I can never say this guy's name correct, but Inchukowo. I can never say it. I also on the IR, they're keeping him on the reserves as well. But you're looking at Kamiku Ture, who's also an outside linebacker here on practice squad. They've kept a lot of hopefuls for the practice squad, and it's still something that they could actually ladle out something good and put it on the roster, and it performs well. So as a whole, this group looks fantastic, and I don't really see any issues whatsoever when it comes to putting this whole group together. I just don't see any issues at all. And I think the major doubts for anyone that's currently listening to this program is, can Desmond Ridder get it done? And what is Ryan Nielsen going to put out as a base defense / what kind of pressure are we going to generate against a guy like Bryce Young? And a Bryce Young right now for you is most likely going to rush a couple of throws. If we can take some NFL rushing experience here with quite a few set of veterans, guys that are hungry, that want to get after this, and create some panic and some disruption on Bryce Young. It's not that the lights are too bright for Bryce. It's not that the NFL is too big for Bryce. It's that offensive line is absolutely gosh darn terrible. It's just terrible. It's not very good. You don't want to see what's happening currently in the preseason start week 1 against the Atlanta Falcons. So the Atlanta Falcons see that just by name recognition alone, and even if it's not name recognition alone, you just go back and watch a little bit of highlight reel. You don't have to watch any major tape to recognize that Calais Campbell, Lorenzo Carter, Ebiketie, Grady Jarrett, just to name a few guys, that's sack-worthy stuff right there. Amanyata, that's sack-worthy stuff right there. The Falcons are looking at maybe 1 or 2 impact players with about $11 million in cap space right now. They still have $11 million in freaking cap space right now. They could go out and still go get another impact pass rusher or an interior defensive lineman if injuries or something happen, God forbid. And so what you're looking at right now is, can Desmond Ridder get that done, and can Ryan Nielsen create pressure from a lot of DBs playing on the field? And you're hoping Jesse Bates becomes that guy. Let's get into anyone who has currently said hi in the chat. I want to definitely say hi to you guys. Crystal, Child of God, that is Mrs. Lieutenant Dan. Make sure you guys check her out. They're doing some fantastic stuff with Cornerstone Podcasts and Cornerstone Harvest. Go check that out. There it is, Cornerstone Podcast. Definitely go check out Cornerstone Podcast. We're going to have a South African guest on there talking God, talking sports, talking life, and things that he's learned on his 50-plus years on this planet, and what it means to him and what God is doing for him, as well as Mrs. Lieutenant Dan and myself will be on that podcast just to have some fun. So go over there, hit that subscribe button, build that up for these guys. They're looking looking to make this a full-time career, and they just want to spread the word of gospel for Jesus and all of the things that they want to be able to hit you guys up with scripture, as well as amazing stories and amazing times. So definitely check us out there at that positive. Beasley, Kev J, Falcons fan 408, 95 North Falcons Talk Show. What's going on, guys? Hope you guys are doing well. Rise up, stay grounded. Man, I'm so glad that you guys are here. This is just absolutely fantastic and a wonderful show experience for me. So just please make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit that notification bell, that subscribe button if you haven't already subscribed. The notification will come up actually on the feed here and notify everybody that you subscribed and that you've joined the group. I really appreciate it. Rise up and stay grounded to all my grounders out there that are supporting the podcast and the show, whether that be by joining the membership program or donating or even just subscribing and spreading the word out to all the peeps and the potential grounders out there. I really appreciate you guys. Much love and bless up to every single one of y'all. Let's get into this Desmond Ridder talk versus this Bryce Young talk. There has been so much trash, and I mean the absolute garbage that we have had to listen to over these last couple of weeks of Bryce Young is this generational, crazy, upstart talent. Guy is leaps and bounds among everything else that has happened. He's the guy, he's the GOAT, he's the G, and then we watch him in preseason and we go, that doesn't look like a G. That doesn't look like a guy that's going to become an amazing, crazy, tone-setting quarterback. And I know there are Panther fans out there that are probably going to end up using this as fodder at some place or feel like, oh, we can take this little clip and go put this out there. But I'll tell you what, right now, if Bryce Young and this offensive line cannot gel very quickly, they are going to be up at that top pick once again. And they've already traded some of those picks. So I don't even think that they're able to give a better expect themselves to be in the top 10 since they've traded those picks away, from my understanding. But at the end of the day, you're looking at Carolina going, this is a one-shot, one-trip, one opportunity type thing. We need Bryce Young to play at a high level, and we think we have just enough pieces here to be able to make it done. That defense can't survive 17-plus games and expect to take them anywhere close to a division championship or even a Super Bowl championship, and that's no disrespect to the talent that they have on that roster, but you can't. Defense wins championships. Defense comes up with the big stops in the big primetime games when everything comes down to one play. The offense leads you there, and right now, that offense is not it. Suspect weapons, sus. Terrible options at offensive line. They're not looking like they're gelling. Bryce Young does not look like he's able to hit his targets in stride. And when he is, it's just in a regular practice setting where he doesn't have crazy pressure on him and he's slinging rocks. Now, I understand the Panther point of view here, which would be, well, Desmond Ridder hasn't proved anything, and he's played already 4 games of NFL true football at the end of the season against teams that were trying to make a run or trying to compete so they wouldn't have a crazy draft pick. And I'll tell you right now, Desmond Ridder looked like the real thing. Go through the rest of this preseason, the one major drive that they did, and if that's the sample, a small sample size of what Desmond Ridder is potentially going to be and how they're going to air the ball out and how they're going to run, Bijan Robinson, Tyler Algier, Cordero Patterson, Drake London, Kyle Pitts, Jonnu Smith, and an offensive line that was ranked one of the top in the entire NFL as well as top in PFF rankings. And you got to tell me right now that team is going to get stopped by a potentially Brian Burns-less defensive end group there in Carolina. Not to say that all the rest of that won't come out and do something, but look at what look at the holdouts that they're currently having, the offensive line that they don't have, and the inconsistencies from Bryce Young. I think what you have right now is an experience issue. Doesn't mean that Bryce Young won't be something fantastic down the road, but you're looking at Bryce Young not being the guy right now. This is not it. I fully have to say right now that there will be a fight. There will be a fight between these two teams to get this win on Sunday. And my prediction, and there was a score prediction up here. In fact, actually, if I remember it correctly, it's going to be 94 Falcons Talk Show, 95 North Falcons Talk Show, said, Lieutenant Dan, what's your score prediction for Sunday? I 110% believe we are going to have like a 28 28-17 game, Falcons winning over the Carolina Panthers. And I think some people will come out and say, look, they went against the Panthers. Yes, it was not against Brian Burns. He's been showing up to camp, but he's not going to play the games because he wants that contract. And they went out and they won. They won a game. They got a dub. And now the narrative after this, if we win, will be, well, can they string another one together? Well, can they do it again? Well, can they get one more win? Well, can they get one more opportunity? Can Desmond Ridder show us a little more deep ball, a little more running? Because the naysayers, if the Falcons are legitimate, the naysayers will have literally nothing to talk about, little to nothing to talk about. Whereas if we end up losing, they'll go, oh, see, this is why we didn't need Desmond Ridder, and this is why, boom, 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 boom. But if the Falcons end up winning this game against the Carolina Panthers, it will literally tie the bow. The box is closed. The bow will be tied, and we'll be talking about how Desmond Ridder has such an interesting, easy schedule markup, kind of like setup here, and how Desmond Ridder will be able to go out and gain the confidence that he's needed, that he got from the 4 games and was crowned, anointed the starter here in Atlanta. That this guy right here, all he needed to do was just get a couple of games under his belt. That to me is where we're headed. That's where I feel we're headed right now. Chat, in the live chat right now. In the live chat, right over here. In the live chat right now. Out of 10, 1 through 10, how confident are you that Desmond Ridder will produce the dub on Sunday? I want to see all 16 to 20 people that are currently watching right now. I want you to comment in the comments right over here in the live chat, and I want you to tell me, what's your confidence level that Desmond Ridder comes out with a dub on Sunday against the Carolina Panthers? And I'll start reading some of those off. But I want to put this thought out here while you guys are doing that. Bijan Robinson, Offensive Rookie of the Year. Bijan Robinson, Offensive Rookie of the Year. I think it's obtainable. And not only do I believe it's obtainable, but I do believe that a Bijan Robinson type player, and this is a scorching hot take for a lot of people, but I think that Bijan Robinson could be an all-purpose touchdown leader this year. I feel that Bijan Robinson could be an all-purpose touchdown leader this year. Why do I feel that? Well, Bijan Robinson is definitely going to catch the ball, without question. But Bijan Robinson's ability to make a home run hit, all we needed to see was one, he got clipped on the foot type of run in preseason, and we're sold. I saw it in Texas. Now I basically almost saw it here in Atlanta. I think we're only a run away from that type of thing. I think we're only a run away from that type of thing. I know there's more of y'all in this chat right now. Go to the live chat right now. Confidence level of Desmond Ridder. Put it in the chat over here down at the bottom. 1 out of 10. 1 to 10. I want to hear it. I want to hear everybody from this. Christopher Sanders says 8. Falcons fan 408 says 8. Blizz has the lowest rating right now. He says 7. And a 7's good. That's above average. A decent Hodge block away from breaking away. I mean, Kev. I mean, it's all it's going to take for Bijan is just that little tiny crease, that little bit of opening. Mrs. Lieutenant Dan says 8. She says she believes that Desmond Ridder's got the goods, but isn't superstar level. He's not Pat Mahomes, huh? He's not that Pat Mahomes type. I believe it. I believe what the current Falcons roster holds at this very moment is an explosive piece of dynamite, and all it needs is a little strike of the match, a little strike of the fuse, and boom, it's going to be off to the races. That thing is that could be wild. That could be absolutely wild. But hey, this is just what I'm saying. Make sure you guys check out the PSF app down below. Ricky West with 8.5. Woo, Ricky. Teetering on that 9, huh? Teetering on that 9, huh? You getting real close, son. I see it. I see that little tiny. You're almost to that 9. I see you're almost to that 9, son. Ooh wee, boy. A 9 on the Richter scale. You're thinking that Desmond Ritter's pretty much proved everything that he's needed to prove. He just needs to start putting the pieces together and start getting the championships, huh? Woo wee. Tell you what. Hey, man. That's all they need, man. All they need is just that little crease. All they need is just that little tiny crease. And then you've got a guy in Bijan that could take it, a guy in Algier that could get you 50-plus yards. If Desmond Ridder can continue to just strike his guys, London can take it, Pitts can take it, Hodge can take it. Like, bruh, these guys, Mac Hollins is going to be terrifyingly fun because he's one of those Sanu-type wide receivers, man. He really is. And that's not even talking about Jonnu Smith, who will most likely get opportunities as well. That's crazy. That's crazy. Just checking on any updates that are going on right now. Arizona Cardinals are expected to have Josh Dobbs starting quarterback with rookie Clayton Tune getting backup reps. Hey, all right. Okay. All right. Falcons have signed a safety to the practice squad. Lucas, I believe. Lucas, if I'm not mistaken. Wild. Got a little something in here right now. Assistant head coach and defensive backs coach Jerry Gray said a goal of this defense on Sunday is to make Carolina's offense uneasy. What I was just saying. They may be playing defense, but they want to be on the offensive attack more than not. We have some things that we haven't shown on tape yet. And this is what I was saying about the offense, too. Gosh darn it. This was the thing that I was saying about the offense. They literally played you vanilla, and it still looked exciting. I cannot believe that Arthur Smith and Terry Fontenot and Ryan Nielsen and this crew has got every single Falcons fan up in arms. If it's not about Ridder, it's about Bijan. If it's not about Bijan, it's about Arthur. If it's not about Arthur, it's about Kyle Pitts. If it's not about that, it's about some defensive something. They literally got you guys to buy vanilla ice cream. They literally got every single person, including myself. Hey, listen. They got me to buy vanilla ice cream and like it. There was so many other options there. Chocolate, strawberry, Rocky Road, Oreo cookies and cream. And they showed us vanilla ice cream and everybody. Ice cream cones in the chat, y'all. Give me some ice cream cone emojis in the chat. These guys served us soft serve vanilla ice cream and, man, we ate it. We ate it up good. They showed us 1-2 Bijan runs. They showed us Tyler Algier a couple of times. They gave us one actual drive by Desmond Ridder. They barely showed Kyle Pitts at all. They up-hyped practice and showed Desmond Ridder just making easy throws, and everybody ate that vanilla ice cream up so much. I don't think they've shown anything. I don't think they've shown anything that we're actually going to do. That's the wild part. That I think that some, if not all of this, is the most fluff I've ever seen. They're going to shove the ball down people's throats running it. They're going to sling the ball in tight spots and create things that we don't get it. We've been shown vanilla ice cream, and we ate it up. We're like, oh, okay, I guess that's all it is. Isn't that funny? Isn't that funny that we're literally being given our vegetables and our beans? We didn't want to eat any of them. We didn't want to see the technical side of stuff, but here we are. Here we are. So, y'all, I just want to say this before I get out of here because we're going to have a meeting with the peeps from Pro Sports Fans. Please make sure you go follow them on Twitter at PSF Updates. Those guys are absolutely fantastic. They've contracted me to work with them this year, and I'm so excited to be able to work with them on Sunday. Come check us out in the Falcons chats on the PSF app. It's an absolute honor and blessing to be able to work with them this year. And make sure you guys hit that join button. Support us monthly if you have the opportunity to do so. And if you don't, just please share this out, comment, like, subscribe, all those good things for free. Literally costs less than a cup of coffee. It's free. Free is free. That's just it. But, yeah, if you can support us in any way, shape, or form, go check us out at the PSF app. We've joined their group. Free 99. Yes, that's absolutely right. That's Mrs. Lieutenant Dan in the chat chiming in. Free 99, man. Hit us up with a subscription. Hit us up with a notification bell. Hit us up with a comment down below. Hit that like button, man. It really helps us out. Share this to your friends and family all over social media. We're going to have a great season, and we're going to be live on Sunday, not only here but on the PSF app. Check us out on the PSF app so that we can talk to you guys, and free call-ins on the PSF app. So if you want to come talk to us while we're doing it, it's just like Twitter Spaces, where you can come in and you can have a chat with us live during the game. And we'll talk a couple of plays and hear your thoughts on what's going on. But, man, it's going to be so much fun. Link in the description of this video. Go down to the link in the description of the video. Click that. Go download it on your phone, man. LT_Dan is my username. Make sure you go follow us there. Man, it's going to be fantastic. Rise up. Stay grounded, and I'll talk to you guys again real soon. I'm just so excited about this season. I hope you guys are as well. Peace and hair grease, y'all.